Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Guys, these are some of the most important things they have to bring back into the game. And in today's video, we're just gonna have a short video, but this is going to be something that Bandai needs to listen. We need 3 very important, crucial elements to come back to the game. And they are gonna make, believe me, the Budokai Tenkaichi for the next gen absolutely incredible. So the first one, guys, is being able to actually fight with giant characters. In the Budokai Tenkaichi series, you could actually control the big apes, and it was just hilarious. Like in the battlefield, they have obviously advantages and disadvantages. They're not affected by some of these special attacks, but at the same time, they can be targeted with other beam attacks. So it's kind of like pros and cons there. This will be really good because it was just so goofy and so funny, and sometimes like playing with a giant character was just like a unique experience which you don't really feel in any other sort of game. So Budokai Tenkaichi definitely could bring that back, and it would make it so much fun, guys, believe me. Now, something that has been my personal preference, and I'm pretty sure for some of you guys, is the what if scenarios. Now, in the Budokai Tenkaichi, especially in the Budokai Tenkaichi 3, there were lots of what if scenarios with different fusions, with different outcomes, and that just goes to show that you have an unlimited amount of level to play with the story of Dragon Ball, with all the characters, because there's so many of them, and you can effectively just make them work in like different ways, make them interact with different characters which would not supposed to talk to each other in the first place, and that just opens the door to like so many interesting conversations and so many interesting fights in the Dragon Ball universe. Just imagine a what if story, for example, in Super, where let's say for example a new fusion happens, like Goku and Piccolo fuse together. I don't know, like there's so many things you can imagine, for example, or Vegeta and Trunks fuse together to save the world. I mean it's just like unlimited potential, right? Because you know the story is there and you can derive from it, and because it's a what if scenario, they can just go nuts, they can go crazy in the game, and the players will like it, because you know having the traditional Dragon Ball story, of course it's fun to play, and I never get bored of playing through it, to be honest, because every single time is very interesting. But at the same time, having something unique would also be quite cool for the gamers, especially for the people who've been playing the games for Dragon Ball for like 10 or 15 years until now. And finally, guys, the last one is the variety of tournament modes available in the Budokai Tenkaichi games. Now, in the Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was quite fun, because depending on the time of the day or the time you start the mode, there would be different modes available with different conditions, and this was really cool because it allows you to effectively play a world tournament, and every single time, obviously after a few tries, it repeats itself, but at least for a couple of times there's different conditions. So with the next gen consoles and with new technology and of course more knowledge and stuff, you could easily make like the world tournament like have different events depending on the day, have weekly events like participation in PvP and stuff. Like you could have online tournaments non-stop with different rules and, for example, different restrictions like power level. Like you can only use, for example, Earthlings, you can only use Saiyans, you can only use like people from the Frieza Force. Like there's so many things you can do there to basically make the game unique every single time, like by effectively implementing these restrictions on conditions on, I would say, online tournaments. You have so many options to keep people entertained non-stop. And of course, with this you can effectively bring back lots of rewards, and when people actually finish the tournament and they get they complete it and they win the tournament, you can give them a certain reward to get enhance their cosmetics or enhance their stats or their character stats or whatever. So it's always that player feedback loop, which is you go there, you go PvP, you go to the tournament, you win or you lose, you participate, you still get some sort of reward, and that encourages people to continue playing it again. And I believe that that would be a really cool thing, like having an online tournament mode with different varieties for players to play in. It would be just nuts. And especially I do hope that as a bonus, this is I would say 3.5 feature, or as a bonus 4th feature, is that it needs to have crossplay. This feature, guys, is fundamental. It's a feature which, if they have it, the game will be much more bigger, will live for longer, and the audience will never go away. Because if you try to unify and you can have the PS4, PS5 Xbox, PC gamers, everyone playing together, maybe even the Switch, I don't know, potentially, who knows. But having all these main consoles connected under the same servers, you can effectively have an unlimited pool of players all the time, so you don't have to worry that, for example, on PC or on Xbox there's so little people to play with, and then you have to basically abandon the game and get a PlayStation 5 to play because that's where most people play with, right? That would be really bad. So with technology today, I think that should be really important, because that would allow for gamers to just have a much better time playing the game with always people around online 24/7. So guys, that's it for today's video on the Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 4. These are the 3.5 things that if they come to the game and they will be there, they will give people a very satisfactory experience. I mean, of course there's lots of other things. I mean, we have, you know, lots of transformations, destructible arenas and other stuff, but these are some elements which would really make the experience so much more fun from a gameplay perspective, from a story perspective, and even from an entertainment perspective. Post gameplay, post story, the end the game, having these like forever tournaments in the game would just be so damn cool. But guys, that's it for today's video. As always, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I shall talk to you later in the next upload.